Creating objects for AI Augmented Sky. In this video, I'm going to show you my methods for creating objects for AI Augmented Sky so that you can use them in Luminar 4.2. There's different ways of doing this, and my preferred software for creating them is Photoshop, and I'll show you that during the video as well. I'm also going to show you, because not everybody uses Photoshop. That's a good thing about Luminar itself. It can be used as a standalone program. So I've also included other options, and it's online options to create the images as well. You may not get the same results. You may even get better results. But I'm going to give you just everything the way, for example, my head works when I am creating them, and what I'll look out for and what I'll look to do with them when I'm creating them. I've thrown everything at one image, so compositionally it looks horrendous, but hopefully it'll let you see how everything comes together with the images. At the very end of the tutorial, I'm going to show you just the things that I look out for when I am placing objects and what I do. It's nothing that if you're used to using AI Augmented Sky now that you won't know, but perhaps you've wondered how to create the objects in the first place. And I say this is only my method. There's other ways of doing it. So without further ado, let's dive right in. When I normally create these, I create them in Photoshop, and it seems it's the quickest way for me as well, and I think it yields the best results. And the first thing I'm going to show you actually is the image size. This one I've made bigger, and you'll see I've made it 3000 by 3500 pixels and the resolution of 300. You can actually work in I think it yields better results if you work maximum of 800 pixels in the longest edge. It seems to yield better results, but I'm just doing this for now because there's a lot of images in here, as you can probably see, as I was creating quite a few of them. So maximum wise, I would take that to about 800, 850 at the most. You don't need to be as big as this. Okay, what I normally do, and I'm using Photoshop CC 2019 currently, so what I'm just going to do is I'm going to go into Quick Selection Tool, select Subject, and that will read the subject. The new version of Photoshop is even better at reading the subjects. It's worth, if you use Photoshop, it's worth doing that. I'm then going to zoom in and just see what it's missed and add to a couple of bits. Just there, and I'll take some out holding down the Alt key, and I'll just go in there and in there, draw up through that. It's a bit too much there, so that'll do for me just now. So I'm going to select and mask that. That's most of the work done. So if I go select and mask, what I do, I'm a big advocate of the pen tool. And most of these here were cut out with the pen tool. It may seem a little longer to do, but again, I will say the results it yields are far better. So I'll just cut out one or two of these just to show you, and I'm cutting these out quite fast actually, just to show you how I do it. Selection, feather radius of 0.5, that's my default setting for this. It gives a nice finish to the edge, and I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to hit the brush tool, and as you can see the brush is already set for me, and paint that out, and then I'll go around the rest of these until they are finished. But what I'll normally do is I'll cut out the entire object with the pen. Deselect. So I'll go on and do the rest of these, and I'll show you the finished result before I save it. What I'll do now is, once I'm quite happy with the cutout and the layer mask here, I'll apply the layer mask. Once it's applied, I'll hold down Command on my keyboard or Control and click in this area here. So you see it's made a selection of the object, and you can see I've missed a wee bit there, but for the purposes of this it's okay. Next thing I'll do is I'll go in to the channels, and I'll create an alpha channel for this. So that's me, I've now got the alpha channel for it as well. This is what I like to do when I'm saving it out as well. Save it out with the alpha channel, and it's just basically a save as a PNG. I find that if you save it with the alpha channel on, it yields better results than the final one. So I'm now just going to go File, Save As, and I'll go into, as you can see, I've got alpha channels here. I'll call this Eagle 2 because you can see I've got all images in Eagle there. Eagle 2, and it's going to be a PNG. So I'm going to click Save. File size, large file size, fast and interlacing as well. So now that that's it saved, I'll show you how it works in Luminar. What I'll do now is, once I'm quite happy with the cutout and the layer mask here, I'll apply the layer mask. Once it's applied, I'll hold down Command on my keyboard or Control and click in this area here. So you see it's made a selection of the object, and as you can see I've missed a wee bit there, but for the purposes of this it's okay. Next thing I'll do is I'll go in to the channels and I'll create an alpha channel for this. So that's me, I've now got the alpha channel for it as well. This is what I like to do when I'm saving it out as well. Save it out with the alpha channel, and it's just basically a save as a PNG. I find that if you save it with the alpha channel on, it yields better results than the final one. So I'm now just going to go File, Save As, and I'll go into, as you can see I've got alpha channels here. I'll call this Eagle 2 because you can see I've got all images in Eagle there. Eagle 2, and it's going to be a PNG. So I'm going to click Save. File size, large file size, fast and interlacing as well. So now that that's it saved, I'll show you how it works in Luminar. Okay, now that we're in Luminar, I'm going to add the eagle in. So here we go, Object Selection, Load Custom Image. There's Eagle 2 already selected, click Open. That will drop into the background because it only sits within the AI Augmented Sky, as you know. And you'll also notice, because of the blending mode of it, it will have little anomalies in it, depending on what it's blending against. If it's blending against dark, it won't, but if it's blending against the light, it will have anomalies. So what we're going to do is we're going to place object, take that right down in size, and I'm going to place them over here just for the purposes of this video. And then I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you how the white border around it has affected it. So I'm also going to turn off the place object, and then I'm going to relight, and relighting will just bring in that slightly more contrast to the image. It's not a contrast slider, but it seems to bring in slight more contrast to it. So if I zoom in now at 100%, you will see the white line, because we've taken it down in size, isn't so apparent. So that's a good thing. You can also see the areas of mist and everything with that as well, and where I've been quite haphazard in doing it, but that's okay for this because it is in the distance. That's the thing, it's away in the distance. You're not wanting this to be right in your face when you're editing anyway. It's just slight additions to the sky, in this case the AI Augmented Sky, the additions to that. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and add one more object to this, and this object is going to be slightly different. This is going to be a JPEG. So I'm going to get into Object Selection, Load Custom Image. I'm going to go into my messy desktop, and I'm going to take the Lightroom edit of this moon. So you notice it's a black background. Click Open, and it drops in. Place object, take it down in size, and I'm going to move this around just to show you how it affects other objects within. So you see any of the lighter areas, it starts to show through. Any of the darker areas, it just doesn't show through at all. So these are things that you've got to take into consideration. If you're not used to doing this, you'll know where it can work and where it can't. Right, so I'm going to take that down in size again. I'm just going to place it there. Forget the composition of this. I'm just throwing everything at this. This is when they look terrible. I'm going to go place object. I'm going to take the relight. I'm then going to get in and edit the mask. As you notice, and I'll point out in the next part of the video what to look out for. But as you notice just now, the direction of the light. So I am going to take a gradient mask, and I am just going to drag that through there to about there. And I'm going to leave it at that. If I wanted to, I could take it back even further so that it blends into the sky a bit better. And that gives us the depth in the image as well. And you'll notice that I didn't place it on top of clouds or anything like that, whereas I could have went place object and I could have put it on top of the clouds here, but you notice because they're too dark, it wouldn't show through. So I'm going to leave it around there. The mask stays where it is, you'll notice. So I'm just going to take that to about there. And I'll just leave it at that for this. The next thing I'd like to do is I would like to go in and tie all these together. So I'm going to go in and add a new adjustment layer. In this new adjustment layer, I am going to get into colour. A lot of orange and blues here. Orange in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dial my blues back as per usual. And dial them back about there. I'm also going to dial back the saturation of the orange. Take it back so that the image fits together better. Pull back the luminance slightly as well. Not too much with that. So I'm going to leave that at that, and then I'm just going to point out certain things to look out for when you're adding objects. Okay, I'm in Photoshop for this next part, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through just things to look out for and things to avoid when you're doing them. We're creating composites here in this case, or we're adding images to our skies via the AI Augmented Sky. And it's just so that it looks slightly more real. In this case, it definitely doesn't. But for your own images, perhaps if you're adding a bird to the sky, if you're adding a moon to the sky, it's worth just looking at all these things for this. So as you notice, we have got long shadows here, telling me that the sun is quite low in the sky for this. And the sky as well, and I'll just move this arrow, you'll notice that the light is catching to the right. So the light is coming in and it's catching on the right here. Same with the moon, that's why that moon was put in and it was darkened in that side, because the light is coming from the right. If you now look at the ATATs, you'll see there's quite a harsh light here, not so long a shadow. But we kind of get away with it for this because in this case it's more a sci-fi image. The shadows here are wrong going by everything else. The light here, again, not the best, but it matches in because of the temperature. You can still see it's at a different angle, but it matches because of the temperature. Same with the whale. But the one thing you've got to watch with the whale, I couldn't dull this down at all because that in there is just marginally off pure white. And as soon as you try to adjust that, it will go a grey, and it goes a mucky grey, and it's a horrible grey. If you shoot your landscapes and the sky blows out and you think, oh, I'll try and bring back the sky, you'll know the grey I mean. So it's quite a mucky grey. The bird, not enough contrast in it. So that stands out a mile away. Light again, matching. Not particularly because there's a reflected light coming back up onto the bird. But a tiny bit in there. Would you get away with it? No, you wouldn't. But at least you know how to make them now. The light on here as well. The moon is in the distance, and you'll notice that I dragged the moon back so that the opacity was back a bit. I could have went into the advanced settings and made it slightly blurry as well. It's in the distance, it shouldn't be sharp, and it also should have less contrast because it is in the distance. So the closer objects get, the more contrast they have, the further away, the less contrast they have. Hence this doesn't work well sitting there. But for that, just to show you in this example, you can see, so this is the things you've got to avoid. If you look at the thumbnail as well, I actually defocused the whale so that the whale was out of focus for the thumbnail, and that's one of the things you've got to look out for as well. Although it's in the sky, what you've got to watch is the detail and how much it is in focus. You don't want it to be blurry if it's meant to be in your face type thing, unless it's really close. But because this is AI Augmented Sky, it's not going to be, unless I had filled this entire area here with the whale. I would get away with defocusing it slightly because to the viewer's eye that would look as if it was closer to you. So these are the kind of smaller details that you've got to look for. Just try to balance it all up. These two walkers here, they match, and the reason they match, it's the same one from here that I've just chopped up in Photoshop and made it look as if it's battle scarred and broken and destroyed. So these are the kind of things you've got to look for. And as I said before, what I did was I pulled back the blues, and I kind of added a lot to this, but it's just mainly to tie it all together. So I used slightly similar colours when creating it, and I also pulled back the vibrance in the sand as well, just to help pull it in and help emulate the light. So hopefully that made a bit of sense there and what to look out for. Even these guys, these are really sharp up here. Being totally honest, because they're in the distance, I should have blurred them ever so slightly, but it was just to show you for this example. Okay, for those of you that don't have Photoshop or Affinity or any other program that can create a PNG file, there's a couple of websites here. There's Make Transparent Background, which is transparent.imageonline.co, and Online PNG Tool. So I'll show you these very quickly. So it's just basically select an image. I've got a aeroplane here, jet fighter with a white background. So let's see what it can do. Right, and it's telling us to choose the background. And in this case, I've been lucky because this image is in white. So I can go for color strength. And what I'll do is I'll download both of them. I'll test both of them to see what happens here. So I'm going to go download PNG. That will drop there. I'll just move that to the side and I'll drop that one in the desktop. And then I'll go in here and I'll click an image for this one. And let's take test flight. PNG, open. And I already have that set to transparency colour as white. So you could choose any colour with this one. If I remember correctly, I think this one worked out slightly better. And I can type in match similar colours and tones. I had it, its default's 30%. And I had it at 20. I had it at 10 because as you see it begins to pick up bits in the plane as well. So I can even take it right down to 5. Yep, so let's do that and let's save as and download. So this is output online. So let's check both of them to see what one's best. Okay, now that we're in Luminar, let's test both of these, and I'll just go into AI Augmented Sky and I'll go down and load custom background, and let's test the output of the online PNG tools first. Click open. And you can see the white round it. That's one thing you will get when you're creating these 90% of the time. So let's relight it. Let's place the object. At that size it's too big anyway and it shouldn't be landing in the desert. Here, so you're looking for a lighter area to blend these into because of that white border that you get around them. So I'll just make that smaller and let's put it over there. So there's the first one. And we'll just click that. I won't relight anymore. I'll just make it a wee bit more contrasty. And I'll zoom in to let you see. So we still have this white border. That just happens with it. It depends on your background what's going to happen and where you place these. It doesn't mean though that you can't put them into darker skies. So that's the output online PNG tools one. Let's change that to another. And let's change it to image online, just to see if there's any differences between the two. Not much at all, if anything. So we still have that white border around there. Let's place the object, take it back down in size, just place it, it was roughly there. Relight's still off, turn that off. And if I zoom in, I actually think looking at these that the first one was best. So you've got the choice of these to use if you want, but it looks as if output online PNG has been better. And I would say, even when I look at it now, I would say it's negligible. But at least that's you get an option to try them for yourself if you don't have any software to cut out and create PNGs. Hopefully that made sense, and in particular with the moon, you'll see that that was a black JPEG or JPEG, depending on how you want to say it. And what the software does, the AI Augmented Sky, it blends that away. Whether it's a lighting or a screen blending mode, I'm unsure, because it has a different effect depending on what is going on in the image. So I'm unsure how that is, but it's a great feature to have in the software, and it's enjoyable to use. It's really enjoyable to use, and that's the main thing about it. It is to be fun. You're not trying to pull the wool over MD's eyes with this. You're just having fun with the software. Perhaps you're adding some birds to a scene that you've already taken, or you're adding a background in and then putting a cutout of studio lights in for a portraiture. It's totally and utterly up to you. You see that there is wee anomalies, there is with every software, but you can see how the software handles them, and once you've applied everything to your edit, you don't notice. You actually don't notice. You're not pixel peeping here, so you don't actually notice them as much. I tried the online software that I showed you, and I tried it with a bicycle and in between the spokes. I haven't put that in the video, but it did work okay. And I'm going to say okay, I'm not going to say brilliantly, but it removed all the white from the spokes and all around the saddle and everything, so it works okay. Have a go yourself, try whatever method you want. A white background JPEG does not work well at all. The white remains, hence the reason I mentioned blending modes. So if you have a white JPEG, a white clear background JPEG, take it into, and you don't have any software that can edit that out and turn it into a PNG, take it into one of the online ones. I've only put 2 up, so there's plenty more there, and I'll put the links to the ones that I use down below in the description, so but have a go with them as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you enjoyed the explanation. If you'd like to check out more videos, please check them out in the channel below. If you're currently not a subscriber, please consider subscribing, because that would be greatly appreciated. Remember, stay safe, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.